Hey, what's going on, guys? It's time to check in on the Frame Arms Girl line here with the Durga II. First of all, as always, the box art here looking incredible, and as you can see, this is in the larger size box. Once again, for this one, we've got some cool stuff here with the Durga II. It's a design that I really particularly like, and this version of the Frame Arms Girl of the Durga, which is also based on the Magatsuki, is one that has a number of different variations. The Durga II in particular looking very nice here with that white color scheme and the clear yellow parts on there. I think it's going to look really, really cool. Let's go ahead and get into it for today's video. And so, as usual, we got some really nice box art here on the front with our color swatches up there, the titling down the side, and then our big character illustration all through the front there. Really like how the Durga II is looking there with the white armor, and those clear yellow accent parts are going to look really cool on there. And that sword looks really nice as well. So going on to the ends of the box, we're just going to have the titling and a close-up of the illustration. And then on this side of the box, we've got to look at the built, painted, and decaled kit there, front and back. And then the weapon parts, anyway, just basically showing off the unarmored form there as well, which also looks really nice. Over here, a little bit about the details that are new for the Durga II. It's got the new headdress, the new shield, new sword parts there. And then here's a little preview of how the kit's going to look. It's built straight out of the box without any painting or detailing anything on it at all. And around on the other side of the box, a look at our face option parts there. Looks like we're going to have 4 face option parts, which look pretty nice, as well as some waterside decals included. That's always good to see. And then the MSRP for this one looks like it's going to be coming in at 9,000 yen for a pretty big box here with undoubtedly a lot of runners that we're gonna see if I can get the box off. Not too bad a price because, like I said, there's a lot of runners in here, and so that's definitely going to add up, but we'll have a really nice kit in the end, I think. Now, a quick peek at the waterside decals. These are actually in gold, which is pretty awesome. So we got those in gold, and then we've got some eye decals down here at the bottom as well. But that's really interesting. I wasn't expecting that just based off of the picture on the outside of the box. It didn't appear that they would be gold, but they are, in fact. Now, this is really interesting. We've got our instruction manual, and then we've got an added bonus here. I feel like there was another Frame Arms Girl or another kit recently that had something like this. I don't remember which one it was. Maybe it was the Durga I or the Magatsuki or something, but this is like an extra added thing here. The designer's note manual here. That's what it looks like on the front. On the back side, we've got what looks like a CG render of the model kit. And then down here, a little bit about the series of the Magatsuki, this other version of the Magatsuki, the Ayatsuki, and the Durga I there. So that's pretty cool. On the inside, we've got our table of contents, and again, a nice CG render there, almost looking like a real grade, how it's got like the full CG render and then like a close-up but in the background there. That's of the Frame Arms Durga II there that you can see. And yeah, it looks like in here we're going to have a bunch of different artwork. So here's like the box artwork, images here, like the sketch artwork for the box. Nice painted illustration up there at the top. On the next page here, some more design artwork for this, and then for the faces. So some different options there for like the face option parts. So I'm sure they plan out a bunch of different options and then they choose, you know, whatever the final 4 are going to be. The next page here has some art for the Hersfelger Rufus. And then over here, this page for the Hersfelger Albus, which is pretty interesting. I actually have that kit to review for you guys. It doesn't have that exact dress though, and actually. We've got a little mini comic here in monochrome blue on the next couple of pages featuring the Durga II. That's pretty cool, fighting some big monster. Oh, this is actually going to continue on, so I was expecting maybe just those couple of pages, but it looks like 4 pages there for that. And the character design for comic here, which is pretty awesome. So there you go, you got a few different character designs there, and our little monster sketch. And on the last pages here, some more information there, all in Japanese. The LFA Durga II by Kyoshi Takigawa. And then, okay, so this is about the like the Frame Arms Durga II with some really nice sketch, like line art here for the Durga II. That looks really awesome. I actually have reviewed that kit as well. If you guys missed that, you can check out that review. Really cool Frame Arms kit. So that was awesome. But in here, we've got just our regular instruction manual, which on the back side is going to have our decal guide right there. On the back inside cover page is also going to be our color and decal guides. We've got all our colors laid out here as well. On the front inside page here, we got a few images of the built and painted kit in the armored and unarmored form, and then again at the bottom a little bit about the Frame Arms kit that this is based off of. The next page is going to have just our parts list here, and the rest of the manual is just going to be all of our constructions. So that's about it for that. Let's check out the runners. But first, we do have our pre-painted pieces here, which are going to consist of our 4 pre-printed faces, which look awesome. We'll take a closer look at those in the review. And we've also got a few more pre-printed parts here. It looks like a couple of gray armor pieces with some white printed on there, and then parts for the rear end of the model kit there. Flesh tone color parts with some white pre-printed. And then this part here looks like it's a gold part for the front of the armor there with some white printed on that. And also just a standalone part here, which is not on runners, just the base plate for the display stand, which is in a sort of warm gray color there. And then into the runners proper, we've got some polycaps here, PC runner here in skin tone. Our hand parts are here, which looks like we've got our standard open resting hands, open expressive hands, closed fists, and 2 different types of holding hands there. And the runners A, B, and C are all gonna be here, armor pieces in what is a really nice pearl white. So it's not just plain white, it is slightly pearlescent here. So here's runner A, and then we've got 2 of runner B and 2 of runner C for some more of our white option armor pieces there. Runner D is going to be some of our hair parts, which is in a kind of blonde color, like a light tan color there. Looks nice. Runner E and F, a couple of smaller runners here. Runner E in dark gray. Runner F, another hair piece there. Runner H, some more parts here in dark gray. We've got 2 of those. Runner J is some parts here in a nice molded gold. Not too shiny, not too metallic, but it is a nice molded gold color there. Then runner K is back to some more pearlescent white parts there for the armor and weapons parts. Then runners L, M, and N are some more flesh tone parts here for the kit. Runner L, runner M is just a single piece here, and then runner N is a couple of joint connection parts there. Runners O, P, and Q, some more parts here in pearlescent white. There's runner O, runner P here, and then we've got 2 of runner Q. Runners R, S, and T here. R and S are going to be in that dark warm gray. We've got 2 of runner S. The runner T here is in a kind of bluish gray color there. Runners U and V here. Runner V, some more parts in that warm gray. Runner U here, it's going to be our clear yellow parts, and as you can see, it is like slightly sparkly. It has like a little bit of like pearlescence to that, which looks nice, catches the light really nicely. Last few runners in the English alphabet. Runner W, we have a few more parts there in white. X, we have a few more parts here in clear yellow. Y, a few more parts there in that blue gray. And then Z, we have a few more parts here in white. And from there, getting into the Japanese alphabet, runner A here, some more parts in white. Runner E is some more hair parts here. We'll have plenty of those. Runner U is some more parts here in that blue gray color. And then runner E and runner O, some more parts here in white. That's the last of our white parts. And lastly then, runners Ki and Ku, some more parts in clear yellow, and then our blade parts here in like a clear orangish red. And if you look up closely at these parts as well, these also have like a little bit like of pearlescence sort of injected into that clear plastic, which looks nice as well. So that looks really cool. That's it for our runners. So let's check out the kit. Okay, and here's how the kit is going to look once that's all built up. Really love just like how regal this looks with all the white armor there, and then the clear yellow and gray accents on there are just really, really nice for just the color scheme of this straight out of the box. Obviously doing a little bit of panel lining on there, especially on the white parts, would help to just bring out some of the details on it, but it looks fantastic. Obviously, as we're seeing it now here too, this is in like the fully armored form. If you guys are familiar with the Magatsuki and then other different variations of the Durga I, Durga II, and all of them, that there's a lot that you can do with these kits in terms of swapping the armor around in different places. That's basically kind of how they get the different variations for the most part. So there's a lot that you can do to customize this, and we have different forms and option parts, and of course different weapon options as well that are also going to be really cool. So a lot to enjoy with this kit. Let's go ahead and get into it. And so as for our accessories, obviously we're going to have our standard included base, features some basic articulation, but ultimately it does a good job of holding up the kit, which is all it kind of really needs to do. The kit also doesn't need that. It's not required. It certainly is helpful to get the kit to stand. I certainly would recommend using that. So nice to have that, but that's pretty standard. We have the large version of her sword here, but this has some different things that you can do with it. It's pretty simple, just some clear red parts there for the blades. Those can actually come out and be 2 separate handheld swords on their own if you wanted to have 2 swords. And you've got this big handle. What can you do with this? Well, of course, we have an effect part for that as well. So plug this effect part into there. And now you've got 3 pretty good sized swords here. Obviously, we don't have 3 hands, so you won't be able to use all of these at once, but some nice options for the swords. But that's not all. So you do also have the lance weapon here as well in white with a little bit of gray and a little bits of clear yellow on there, which is going to match the design pretty nicely. So that one's going to look pretty cool there as well. And then lastly, for our major armaments, here we've got the shield, which again looks really cool. That clear yellow part having that kind of detail on the underside of there looks nice. On the back side, you can see this is just going to be held in the hand, and this handle can be rotated up and down. You can rotate this left to right, and then just the handle itself can also be rotated left to right. This is also going to feature a claw feature that these parts of the shield can come out like this and act as just a sort of physical claw kind of melee sort of weapon there. So that's really awesome. And all the rest of our option parts are just going to be option parts for the body. So just starting off with a couple of our face options there, you can see on these you have that really nice shading for the blushing cheeks, really nice colors there for the printing, and the printing quality, of course, top notch on these. Here's our other two face option parts there, giving us some pretty fun expressive face options for this Durga, I think. It's really nice. And that multi-tone kind of greenish blue color there for the eyes looks really good. And then we have some options for the hair. If you don't want to have this piece on here on the front, you have just one part here just for the bangs without that. I'm going to move some stuff around here because it's going to be kind of hard to see. So you have like this big kind of ponytail part here up at the top that has a little bit of articulation in that. And you can see the hair out the back is just like a short length right there. But you can swap that out for this longer length too, which just kind of crowds the back a little bit too much. There's already a bunch going on there, but if you wanted this big long hair, you can have that out the back instead of this short hair right there. These little bits of hair at the front too, by the way, these ones do have a bit of movement there, so you can kind of move those out of the way as you're moving the kit around. And then for the headdress up top, you have two versions of that, one where it's up and then another one where it's kind of down like this, and these clear yellow parts can be attached onto the side of the down version if you wanted to go for that version. Then we have another one where it's just this like blade part, which is from the Durga 1, maybe I want to say, or anyway, but it's another option part that you can use for the top if you wanted to use that one instead. Oh, and then also here at the back of the head, we have this optional part, which we're going to swap out. Instead of this larger armored piece, it's just a smaller armored piece on the back of the head right there. We also have this part here for the top of the head, this frilly ribbon. If you take off this kind of like helmet looking piece, you can pop this on instead, just for some added fabric-y kind of unarmored detail. And then for switching the body into the unarmored mode, we're gonna swap out that part there for the chest for this one right here, just a white piece with that kind of like ruffled fabric look there at the top of that. And also for the unarmored look, we're going to omit this kind of front articulated skirting section here like that, just for a kind of front part of the pelvis here like this, a gold part with some white pre-printed on there. And then for our hand option parts, we've got the standard array of open resting hands here, closed fists. We've also got open expressive hands, and then two different types of holding hands here, one set with the trigger finger extended, one set without. Up here, if you wanted to omit this armor piece here on the upper arm, you have just a kind of standard gold ring part there that you can put between like the shoulder part and the part for the upper arm right in there like so. We've also got this weapon stabilization part here, which will plug into the ball joint, will plug into this part on the back of the wrist, and this can clip onto the handle of the weapon just to make sure that you can keep a good like solid grip on the weapon and make sure that it's not like drooping down. If it's too heavy to be holding, it might like droop the wrist or something. You can use this part to help stabilize that. And then around here on the back side, you can swap out the kind of connection piece that all this stuff is connected into here at the back of the hip section for this one, just a little bit kind of different connection piece here that you can use for that. Going down to the legs, we've got option parts for the unarmored form that we're going to swap out for the kind of lower part of the thigh, which again has that frilly kind of fabric detail there on that. We do also have these option parts here for the thigh, which will give you a hard point on there if you wanted. Lastly then, here for the feet, you have options for the unarmored form. Instead of these kind of like armored high heels, you have just regular high heels that you can swap to there for those. So as usual, quite an extensive amount of option parts there that we have, and different parts for changing the forms. But even again, like I said, what we have on here is like these armor pieces here on the back side have this part that will kind of flips down there like that, and you could move this to the shoulder armor. You could swap this part here that's attached onto the shoulder, you could swap that to the knee. This part here on the knee can be taken off and connected like here onto the lower leg, something like that. So all these bits of armor with this kit are all just a part of these like different variations, or again, I should say that's how they make the different variations for this kit. Just by moving these different armor pieces around in kind of different positions, there's a lot that you can do to customize this just with what you have included here. And I should also remind you guys too that you do have that really nice set of water slide decals you can use with this, and that paired along with the special art book that we have as well means that you get a lot of value with this one. And as we're taking a look at this kit in a few different poses here to wrap up the review, for these kits I typically don't like to do a whole lot of customization. I just kind of like to show you kind of generally what you would normally see with the kit, like without customizing it. But even without swapping some of the parts around and doing any kind of customization with what we have here, as you can see with just the different weapon options and the different forms between the armored and unarmored form, and just what you have in here is just a ton of different options. I'm showing you a few just to wrap up the review here, but there's a lot more that you can do with this than what I'm going to be able to show you in this video. But that's what makes these lines with the frame arms girl, and a lot of what Kotobukiya makes. That's what makes their products so fun. So they're so easy to customize, and they give you a lot to work with just with what you have in the box. You have all these extra equipment and option parts and all these parts and things that you can work with to really make the kit unique and your own if you want to. Otherwise, you can just kind of build it up in the standard way. And I think just as it is, how I've built it here, as you can see, it looks really nice just on its own there. But a really nice kit for sure. I've really enjoyed the Durga series, both in the Frame Arms and Frame Arms Girl lineup. And we actually have the Durga 1 Save the Queen version Frame Arms Girl kit that we need to take a look at. That one's actually in my build queue, so I'll be taking a look at that one in the near future as well. That one's really cool because it's got some really cool iridescent clear parts and stuff that looks really nice. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out. But the Durga or the Magatsuki kind of in any form is a really cool design that it's no wonder why it's so popular and why we have so many versions of it, just because it's a really nice one. So definitely check it out if you guys haven't. But if you have any other further questions or comments about the kit, do feel free to let me know in the comment section. If there's anything else that I missed, of course, you can let me know. But if you guys want to check out the kit or other different Frame Arms Girl kits for yourself, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Also, just anything from Kotobukiya. I really recommend checking out some more of their kits if you guys haven't yet, but check out what's available at the link below. And as always, guys, thanks so much for all of your support. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and make sure you're subscribed to stay tuned for future videos coming up. And that's going to do it for today, guys. Until next time, have a good one. Later.